listeners across Dominica and the diaspora. Welcome to another very informative edition of Voices of Change. You know, that's our monthly program brought to you by the Ministry of Labor, Public Service Reform, Social Partnership, Entrepreneurship, and Small Business Development. I am your host, Vincent Etienne. I do projects with the Small Business Unit, also dabble in communications and marketing. Today with us, we have some very interesting guests. And we'll be diving into topics that's critical to the growth and sustainability of our small businesses in Dominica. And we want to touch today on topics like fiscal incentive concessions, small business development overall. One of our guests is just returning from Venezuela, from the International Congress of Entrepreneurs. And I'm just going to take the opportunity now to ask our guests to introduce themselves first.
Good morning to the listeners of DBS. Good morning to our ministers, Minister Blanchard and Minister Pinard, our Permanent Secretary, PS Gloria Joseph, the staff of the Small Business Support Unit, most especially Miss Nicholas. Good morning to you and good morning to Mrs. Lovell. Yes, thank you for having me here. I am Michael Walter. I previously served as Business Development Officer 2 within the Small Business Support Unit. Currently, I have the role of Coordinator for Private Sector Relations, Industry, Commerce, and Innovation.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Walter. And also with us, we've got a very dynamic small business person, a woman this time. Let me have her introduce herself.
Hey, good morning to everybody listening. My name is Terry Henry Lovell. I am the CEO, founder of Be Natural. So Be Natural is an award-winning Dominican business that makes natural wellness products using resources from our local beehives. We use beeswax, propolis in honey in all our products, and we are happy to be here today, happy to talk about fiscal incentives and all the ways that we can improve as small businesses in Dominica.
Great, thanks, Ms. Lovell. You've been doing such fantastic work and making us proud. Mr. Walter touched on our ministers and our manager within our ministry. That's Ms. Gloria Joseph, who's been doing some fantastic work and providing opportunities for all of us. Mm-hmm. And I really want to reach out and touch her again. And our staff, not only within the small business unit, but the entire Ministry of Labor. Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's get into the meat of business. Mr. Walter, I'm just so happy that we're here. You've introduced yourself as the coordinator of the Private Sector Relations, Industry, Commerce, and Innovation. Tell us, Mr. Walter, what exactly your role entails as the director of this new portfolio you've just taken on.
Okay, thank you very much for that. The role that I've taken on is to basically be a mediator between the public service and the public service and the private sector. Basically, the role is to help to increase productivity within the private sector, to be able to articulate along with the private sector in consultation with them on national important issues, and also to be able to bring forward informed and data supported policy recommendations to the government for consideration.
Great, great. That is great stuff, Mr. Walter. But as I'm with you, can you just tell us about the small business incentives? Many small business owners have heard of fiscal incentives, but can you give us an idea or a clearer understanding of what these incentives are really all about?
Okay, so I would like to start from the genesis of that. The government have on numerous occasions hosted numerous consultations with the MSME sector, and one of the issues raised is with respect to customs charges on very important essential products and equipment that the MSME sector would be requiring for effective operations of their businesses. And the government has heard the cry of the MSME sector, and 2 financial years back, the government took the decision to give that attention and to ensure that the small businesses are taken care of. I want to say that the fiscal incentives is it's regulated by the Fiscal Incentives Act, Chapter 84, 51 of 2017 revised laws of the Commonwealth of Dominica. All right, and the government saw it fit to further revise it to be able to expand the qualifying activities, just so that the MSME sector can truly benefit from the fruits of that legislation, and for more for favorable benefits to the small businesses.
Okay.
Now, I just want to give a clear explanation, all right, of fiscal incentives. So fiscal incentives are special concessions or benefits offered by the government to qualifying businesses. These benefits take the form of duty-free
Okay.
importation on selected items that are essential for your business operations and can't be sourced within the CARICOM market. That is important. Things like base raw products, and my dear friend, Mrs. Lovell, she will speak more to those things. Equipment, appliances, bottling and packaging supplies, and machinery, just to name a few items. For small and micro enterprises, these incentives reduce startup or operational costs, helping to make businesses more competitive and sustainable.
That is really, really interesting stuff. Is there, in qualifying the small businesses, Mr. Walter, is there a gross income that serves as a guide in determining the granting of these incentives?
Yes, definitely. So we look at it from the perspective of the gross annual income of the business, and that would be once the business earns less than $250,000 of gross annual income. Now, what that basically means, it's the total income before subtractions are made. So before any expenses are removed from those monies. So it means that it gives the opportunity for a lot of businesses across Dominica to benefit from those fiscal incentives, most especially within the startup phases and the small and micro phases of their businesses.
But that is very, very important. Even before I go to Ms. Lovell, I would like you to explain to us again something else that's very, very important. A number of times, small businesses says they feel frustrated by the document and the paperwork and the process to get those incentives. Can you shed some light on the process required for getting those incentives?
Okay, thank you very much for that question. Before I answer you, I just want to indicate that this is not a one-time license, okay? Because a lot of the times the licenses or fiscal incentives that are provided within the Ministry of Finance, they are one time. But the government has saw the merit in providing it for a duration of time. So, for example, whether it is for 6 months, whether it is for 1 year, okay? And what that does, it helps the business to be able to plan their imports, all right, strategically over time, which gives them an advantage, okay? But with respect to the documentation, it is not a difficult process. The form is a very, very simple form to complete, basically asking for background information on the business. If it is a business that is involved in agro-processing or manufacturing, you would ask for production details. If not, you basically provide your a projected income statement, and it's very basic. So don't think about those things from a deep perspective. It has been watered down largely just so that the small and micro businesses can truly benefit from the, as indicated, from the fruits of the fiscal incentives legislation. And so once the application has been submitted, the person will be contacted by an officer within the unit, who will do the analysis of the document, the evaluation of the document, with the applicant, and it is in 2 phases. So the first phase is getting the license approved. And once the license is approved, then you have to get the master list approved. The master list is the list of all the items that you plan on importing during that particular year. Okay? So once those 2 pieces are approved by the Ministry of Finance, the applicant can receive their licenses and start making their orders. Now, it is important that the businesses apply for the fiscal incentives prior to ordering, because a lot of times what we find is that some businesses order the items are on port, and then they come for the fiscal incentives, and that may put them in a negative position, because they would be subjected to port charges for storage and things of that sort. So it is important, and it is imperative, and I'm repeating it again. Please apply for the fiscal incentives prior to ordering of any items. And whilst I have the mic, the businesses need to ensure that you submit all the required documentation so that there is no delay in processing of the application.
That is really, really interesting. So what I've gathered from what you're saying is that the process is one that's very, very simple. A master list is provided to the ministry. Some paperwork is done, and you're asking the small businesses to be able to apply for that type of incentives, before the products actually arrive in Dominica.
Yes, definitely.
Because it can take some time. Okay? And then I'm also gathering that everything on the master list that has been approved don't necessarily have to be imported or arrive at the same time. It can come at different times.
Exactly.
Okay, so that makes it. Okay, thank you, Mr. Walter, for that information. Let's just take some time now with Miss Terry Henry. She is a Dominican entrepreneur who has made us extremely proud in terms of her products, her quality of products, her quantities, having won awards and all that type of stuff. She's just returning from the International Congress of Entrepreneurs that was held in Venezuela. Ms. Henry, welcome to Voices of Change again. And just tell us a little about that Congress that you're just returning from.
Okay. Well, actually, I'm just returning from China.
Oh, as well.
As well.
Okay, good.
This has been a year of travel.
Oh, wow.
So I just completed the agro-processors training program in China, which was amazing.
Yeah,
I
great.
cannot speak highly and I cannot say enough good things about it. But as you were referring to the International Congress of Entrepreneurs, which was in Venezuela, it was a very short congress, but it brought together entrepreneurs from around the world. So it was an amazing group of entrepreneurs from, Latin America, from all over Europe and everywhere in the world. So that enabled us to really see what other entrepreneurs are doing in a vast array of industries and really see that in Dominica, we good. Like our products are on the international stage and they're just as good as everybody else. Yeah.
Wow, Miss Lavelle. A year of travel. And a lot of it is being facilitated through government and the small business unit. But Miss Lavelle, we know that your products, it's on the Be Natural. It focuses on natural, locally produced skincare products.
Yeah.
And you've benefited from some of the fiscal incentives that Mr. Walters has been talking about.
Yeah.
And that has kind of been a game changer for you.
Definitely.
Tell us about the process of getting your stuff here.
Okay. So the process of applying, as Mr. Walters said, it's quite simple. I would say quite. Because as a small business, sometimes it's difficult to maintain everything, right? You are doing everything, you're wearing all the hats, and you have to keep all your records up to date, which is a big challenge. It is, it's not something that is just like you have somebody there who is responsible for doing that. That's your thing that you have to do. So I think that it keeps you accountable, though, because you have to have your inland revenue tax certificate. You have to have your financial statements. You have to have your income, and you have to have your bank statements. You have to have your social security. You have to have everything in check. And sometimes as small businesses, these things are a challenge. There's a lot of runaround, but having, to do it for the fiscal incentives, it means that, hey, your records are up to date. You're in good standing with everybody, and it feels good. It feels really good.
Exactly.
So once you've completed that, and then you're going, you just feel more responsible as a business, more professional as a business, and having all those records up to date means that you are also eligible for applying for other opportunities outside of Dominica. There are a number of regional grants that pop up every now and again, and I have been able to win a number of them. And I would say because my records are always up to date. I always have I can pull out a financial statement, I can pull out my, all my data because it's ready. So these things just keep us on our toes as small businesses, but I think it's definitely worthwhile.
Ms. Lavelle, that's very, very inspiring. And basically, we're talking about having good business practices.
Yes.
Even if you're a small business, the management of your business, things like record keeping, and all the other things.
And it's not
just
easy.
very, very important.
It's not easy.
But it does open all those doors to you
if it was
that you benefited from.
And if it was easy, everyone would do it, right? So you have to say that because it's challenging, that is what's going to make you stand above the rest, make you progress further because you're doing something that a lot of people would just say, it's too hard. I don't want to do that. But so I just encourage small businesses to just, put your head down, get it done, and it will benefit you.
Yeah,
definitely.
I'm really glad that you mentioned, other small businesses should pretty much just get things done so they can benefit from the vast amount of advantages, the opportunities that's out there for small businesses. But just again, though, although you've spoken to the small businesses, but tell me something more you tell small businesses who may be hesitant or unaware of all those opportunities that's out there. Speak to small businesses and the small businesses.
So for the fiscal incentives are a game changer, an absolute game changer for your business, right? When you look at, you go online and you watch other small businesses, say they're in America, they're getting next day shipping, they're getting no duties, right? So immediately a product that is produced overseas is immediately more competitive than yours, price-wise and in the time that they can deliver the products, right? So when it comes to getting duties off of your off of the materials that you're importing, it helps you to be more competitive. It helps to offset that extra cost and extra time that so that you can pass on those savings to your customer, so you're not outpriced within the market, but also it enables us as small businesses to grow. And that is the point of having a small business. You're not supposed to be in the same place next year as you were this year. You're supposed to grow. So it enables you to invest in your business. So I would really say it's a win-win as well between government and private enterprise, because we understand that government is allowing us to bring in items duty free. That does take away revenue from the government, right? So, but it's not a handout, it's a hand up.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
It is a way for us to then employ more staff, employ staff for longer hours, buy more product, buy more raw materials in one time. We've been able to expand our export capacity greatly since we've had fiscal incentives, because we can be more competitive in the regional market. And then obviously if you're importing more, then your freight forwarder benefits. When you're exporting more, your export broker benefits. You know, the stores that you stock in are benefiting from the profit. You're paying more money in Social Security. All of a sudden, your business becomes taxable. That's not something that you really celebrate too much, but you can see that you're growing.
Growth,
and then the
yes.
government will see, is gaining from all the wider socio-economic benefits that your business is bringing to your community, and to being, you pay your dues, basically, you're paying your dues. So I really like that it's that win-win combination, and I just urge small businesses, to don't let it slide, because here we are, we have the opportunity, and if you don't take it, don't complain.
Yeah, good. Thanks, sir. Could have been said much better. I think it's around that line that government saw the need to establish the small business unit, and within our ministry, Mr. Walters has been appointed to serve as the liaison between government and the private sector. But we're just going to take a break and listen again to the tune of Voices of Change. I think it was written by our leader, our PS, Gloria Joseph. So let's just take a small listen. Voices of Change.
We're the voices of change, loud and clear, breaking barriers, dispelling fear, making a difference in every sector, transforming our nation one step at a time. Energetic, resilience, dedicated and fearless, committed to progress, will never stray. In the quest for development, we'll always sway. Feel the rhythm, feel the beat. In unity, our courage complete. For the love of country, our anthem of change. Together we stand, together we build. We're the voices of change, loud and clear. Breaking barriers, dispelling fear, making a difference in every sector, transforming our nation, one step at a time, in a jet at a time.
Okay, good morning again, listeners. Welcome back to Voices of Change. Also know that's a monthly program of the Ministry of Labor, Public Service Relation, Public Partnership, Entrepreneurship, and Small Business Development, where we attempt to inform you of the activities of that ministry and things that we're doing towards assisting the small business sector. We've got with us our two very important guests, Terry and Mr. Walters. And Terry was sharing some very, very important information. I'd like to go back to Terry. Terry, tell us a little about the two conferences that you're coming from. The International Conference on Entrepreneurship held in Venezuela and your recent trip in China. Just tell us a little more about it and how things that you may have experienced, the knowledge gained, and
Yeah. Okay, so I think anytime you step out of your country, you're exposed to new ideas, you see things differently, you get a bigger picture view of the world. Just even being in an airport, a big airport gives you that different perspective. You can see there's a lot of people on the move, and you're one small business, but you see, wow, there's actually a whole world out there of people that might want my products, that might need to be aware of my products. Interacting with other entrepreneurs, as we did in the Congress, that is so valuable. When you can meet somebody from, say, I met a beekeeper from Nicaragua.
Oh.
And the man just greeted me as if I'm his long lost sister. Because we are beekeepers.
Yes,
We just had an instant bond. We couldn't communicate. There was a language barrier. But we were just instantly friends. Now we're Instagram friends.
Of
you
course.
know.
That's interesting.
You meet just the different cultures. You see how somebody from Ecuador or Burkina Faso is putting together chocolates, or how somebody is handcrafting products. And you just see you're not alone. There's a whole world out there of entrepreneurs just like you, going through the grind, going through the struggle, going through the late nights, the early mornings, the hard work. But they're passionate about what they do and they just want to bring it out to the world. So you just feel you're part of a bigger collective of entrepreneurs. You're not just alone, because quite a lot of the time when you're at your work, you're alone. You're doing everything, you're on your own mission. But when you sort of broaden the outlook, you get to see, okay, I'm part of a much wider community. So that was extremely beneficial. The trip to China, anyone that knows me knows I loved it. I was posting all the way, and it was just an amazing experience again, to see a country so advanced, so huge, the scale of operations that we can never really match. That's not our niche, that's their niche. But you bring back a certain level of efficiency, of organization within the business. Just even like how you think you're going to set up your operations. Like, can I do it in a way that's more efficient, that's more of a way that the process is more seamless? So it just gives you a lot of insights to be able to do this travel. And as you said, the government was funding the trips or facilitating the trips, and I'm really grateful for everybody that was involved in making that available to my small business. It just really helps us to grow.
Nice.
Yeah.
Great, man, Terry. Great experience,
Yeah.
But as we get here, Terry, tell us a little more of your products.
Yes.
Take a plug on your products, please.
Yeah, sure. All right. So Be Natural is, I would say, the biggest producer of value-added products from the beehive within the region. We've attended the St. Lucia Honey Show, which is now the OECS Honey Show, for I think 3 years. And we've seen that we're the ones that are leading the way with value-added products from the hive. It's a very niche product, but the bees are producing magic in their hive. The beeswax, the propolis, the honey are ingredients that are full of healing benefits, and it's just our pleasure to be able to bring that out and create something that is accessible for people to use on their skin. The beeswax, for instance, it's a hard, when you bring up beeswax, it's a hard block. You can't do anything with just raw beeswax, But so we're able to then utilize it. We use it in our lip balms, our body balms, our body butter. our signature range of natural deodorants, which are free from aluminum, free from baking soda, free from artificial fragrances, and super effective. And that's our product that's really leading the way in terms of exports. Now, a product like that, and that product actually has been clinically tested in France, so as safe for skin. And that's a product that's really leading the way for us in exports. We're exporting to Guadeloupe, St. Lucia, St. Martin, Barbados. We've done Trinidad, and we have another order for Trinidad coming up, Antigua. So that's a product that has the opportunity to make a massive regional impact, which is what we really want to do. And yeah, just put Dominica on the map as, you know, the leading place for this kind of product. And those kind of products, we use local ingredients, but not everything can be local, right? And that is where we need fiscal incentives.
Yes,
right?
yes.
So the ingredients that we use are extremely high quality ingredients. We do not skimp on our quality, right? So therefore the ingredients are expensive,
Exactly.
right, to buy.
Exactly.
So now if we bring that in and we on the ports and with the 40% and the 15% and the this percent, it just makes us uncompetitive, right? We really cannot get a foothold in the markets. We would be charging too much. Customers wouldn't want it. So we needed that support, you know, and that support transformed our business. First of all, we were able to import more quantity. Put the money first of all in more quantity, and then when we had more quantity of products, we're able to source more markets. When we're sourcing more markets and we're making more, well, we need more staff, you know,
And
or longer
equipment
hours,
and things.
right?
So talk about
we
equipment as well, right?
yeah.
But incentives on
So
equipment.
yeah, so we able to just keep growing. And that is the point of a small business. We do not want to be handheld forever, you know. Our point is that we launched and we fly from the nest, right? And another small business comes in and takes our place.
Exactly,
right?
exactly.
So we're there to, you know, build our business. Now, I saying it all like it's so easy. You know, like all these things. Oh yeah, you just do
It's
this and do
definitely
this,
not
do
gonna be
this.
easy.
Yeah, it's not, but it's a process, it's a journey. You know, we're not $1 million business as yet, you know, but we know what we can continually see improvement. And then the fact is that, as Mr. Walter said, is something that needs to be renewed, which is sometimes a headache. You know, you're like, oh gosh, again. But again, it keeps you accountable because you must see that your business has grown. You must prove that, okay, you've been given something, so your business have to grow to show that was effective. Now, if your business didn't grow, then maybe there's other interventions that you need. Maybe there's more training that you need or something
Exactly.
that you're missing. You know, you don't always need to be handed a pile of cash to make your business successful. Sometimes your processes need to be better, your management, whatever, tweaking along the way. So I think, you know, you really have to keep growing as a business and challenging yourself to always be better this year than you were last year.
And Terry, you know, you've been a perfect example locally as to, you know, how you could come from, develop something just from an idea concept to make it, give it some level of success. Tell us, where locally is your products available? And what's your line of products as well?
Yes, okay. So, yeah, our products are available in lots of different places. So I'll give you the lineup. We have our natural deodorants, 7 different fragrances, natural fragrances, lip balms, body butter, body lotions, and we have a range of propolis products. Now, propolis is an amazing ingredient from the beehive. It's something that the bees use for their own immune system, and it has incredible benefits for our immune system. I'm a testimony to that because this morning I woke up with a sore throat. And I took my propolis, and I'm here on radio.
I've tried it, so I can testify
right.
to it. Yes.
So we have a propolis throat spray, propolis tincture, a propolis oil, which is great for skin healing, where especially for diabetics who have their skin does not heal as quickly. We've had testimonials from people that have used that product. We have face lotion with the propolis as well. So we have a very wide range of products. And seasonally, we do different one-offs as well. We do specials. We do candles around Christmas time. We do a special around Independence time. We're always coming up with something extra we always want to surprise and delight our customers. That's our goal. So for the product availability, most of the supermarkets around Dominica will carry at least the deodorants, because like I said, those are the ones leading the way. Zeb Creole in the old market is where you have the fullest, widest range of our products, and Esmart Pharmacy also has quite a wide range. Bullseye Pharmacy has a range as well, but you'll find the deodorants in Jollies, in Fresh Market, in Savers, in Picard, in Astafans, in what am I forgetting? I don't want to forget anyone.
What is it? It is widely available.
Widely available, right.
Yeah.
And if you don't see it, go in a store and say, "Hey, where's the Be Natural?" And let them call us.
Miss Henry, I really want to thank you for sharing information, and your efforts are paying off, and it should be used as an example for the small businesses in Dominica. Over the weekend as well, I heard that the bees or the honey cooperative captured a number of awards.
Yes, they did.
At something at the
Intercooperative.
The cooperatives awards.
Yes, they did. And
that sure says a lot, not only about you and your products, but the other members within the community.
And it just shows that there is an industry that we have to place more emphasis on,
I mean, if we're talking
and
about
to help to
resilience, we're
expand
talking
it.
about
Yes.
nature, that is.
Yeah, they
it's well
deserve
placed.
that award. They've
It's well
worked
placed.
really hard.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
to really improve beekeeping around the island, because it's important. It's important for everything. We can't have good agriculture without bees.
Bees,
Exactly.
Bees are critical.
Yeah,
Bees are critical
Exactly.
for everything, Okay, again, back to you, Mr. Walter.
Yes, sir.
I mean, it's just so, Terry has just got so much good information
Yes,
that, we could spend a day speaking with her. Although you've been transferred from your portfolio within the small business unit as officer two.
Business officer to yes.
Maybe you can still take a minute and remind us of some of the services being offered by the unit.
Of course.
And,
of course.
Please,
All right. Thank you so much for that. So within the small business support unit, there are multiple services that are being offered. For example, we have the grant financing that's being provided to the MSME sector. There is also business registration documentation. Now, what that means is that if you have a business in the informal sector and you want to get it into the formal sector, we will assist you with doing all the documentation that you take to the Companies and Intellectual Property Office, so that you can get the business registered. All right, registration at the within the unit, office, the CIPO, is $90.
Oh, okay.
All right, for business name registrations. Okay. All right, that have to be clear. Assistance in developing business plans. All right. There is a saying that yes, and if you don't have a business plan, you don't know where it is that you're going. All right. You have to plan for your business. Hence, we see the need within the MSME sphere, and hence we are providing that service in assistance in developing it. Now we have to take note of the word assistance in developing it. That means that it's not going to be developed by the officer in isolation of the client. All right, the client has an equal stake. All right, in the development of the business plan, because at the end of a long day, it's not the officer that's going to utilize that business plan. It's the client that's going to utilize the business plan. So the client has an integral part to play in that. We also assist with the designing of business cards and logos and product labels. Oh, wow. All right. We see that there is a deficiency So we are providing that service as well. Accessing assistance in accessing government services. We note that 2 financial years ago, the Prime Minister indicated that the small business unit would serve as a one-stop shop for all small business related services, and hence that is one of it. Because, for example, someone might say that an issue of, let's say, for example, a liquor license. Yeah. A client may come to the small business and say that I would want to organize a liquor license or XYZ or food handler's permit. And maybe somebody might say, but we don't offer that service here. But we cannot stop at we don't offer that service here. Yeah. We now have to guide the person, you understand, in a way where that service that they required is materialized. All right, so hence the reason for provision of assistance in government services, ensuring that we don't leave the clients hanging, but we ensure that we get them to where it is that they need to go. Provision of assistance in product testing, because this is critical. And this is non-cash injection into businesses, just like Mrs. Lovell mentioned with respect to the fiscal incentives. They are non-cash injections into business, because if you're going to put a product on the shelves, you understand, you have to ensure that once it is something for utilization on the skin or ingestible, then it means that you have to ensure that it is tested. And it is tested by the Bureau of Standards, and the Bureau of Standards, exactly, and the Bureau of Standards has the necessary equipment to be able to perform those tests. So hence we have seen the need, and we are providing that service for the MSME sector. Then we provide training. I think that everybody knows that we provide training. We provide a range of training, both generalized training for businesses that have benefited from our grant programs. But then there are also trainings that we do, targeted training. So, for example, if there is a particular grouping or sector that requires a particular type of training, we will, even if we don't have the expertise in-house, you understand, we will outsource those experts and ensure that that training is delivered to the persons within the MSME sector. Then we provide business advice and hand-holding services. You understand, this is critical. We want to ensure the MSME sector that you are not out there alone. So don't try to fight the battle like you're out there on your own. The government has provided those mechanisms, so utilize, you understand, those mechanisms. Come in, sit down with an officer, have a discussion, get the proper guidance. You understand that one requires.
If I were to interject, honestly, there is quite a bit of effort in terms of exposing the products of small businesses as well.
Yes, definitely. So Mrs. Lovell spoke about the opportunities in Venezuela abroad, and also in China. Locally. You understand? I myself, I traveled to Venezuela and China last year.
Oh, really?
Yes, and where I showcased a lot of products from Dominica. A lot of value-added products from Dominica. So the government doesn't only provide the internal trade shows, and we are king of trade shows. Huh?
Okay.
I must say that we are king of trade shows. Yes, and so we have TV Village Creole that's coming up very soon.
That is the week before World Creole Festival.
The week leading up, yes,
and that's
to the World Creole Music Festival. And it will be hosted at the Botanical Gardens. Yes, Mrs. Lovell, you understand, always participates. You understand, in our trade shows. We also have the Northern Small Business Trade Show that's normally held during the carnival time. We are contemplating on bringing back the business to business,
We want that one. We want that one.
the business to business
Yeah, that was very effective.
for rooms.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
And also there's something downstairs, the government headquarters already.
Yes, it is the
craft,
yes,
clothing and everything related.
yes. So basically, it's held during the
3 or 4 weeks.
independence,
Right.
the independence season. So
And
it
that's
is
on the
held
ground
every
floor of the
Friday,
headquarters.
for free Fridays, within the month of October.
Yeah,
October, yes.
On the ground floor of the
Of the ground floor of the government headquarters.
And
You
there's
understand?
just so much that the
yeah,
unit is involved in.
exactly. You understand?
quite
And we are just touching. You understand? We are just
Yes,
scratching the
surface.
surface. You understand?
So
With
basically,
respect
though,
to all the interventions that government is making to help to ensure that we propel the MSME sector beyond what it is that they are operating at the current moment.
Tell me, can you give us a location and address for the small business support unit?
Yes,
That people
definitely.
can come in and-
Definitely. It's located on the 3rd floor of the government headquarters. Most persons know it as the ministry building. All right, but it's the government headquarters, the 3rd floor, Ministry of Labor. All right, so you can come to our office.
telephone number.
Call us at 266-3937. All right, or 266-3964. You can call those numbers. Come to the office where you will be provided with those services.
And that's
Okay.
very, very interesting. I mean,
Yes.
it's all encompassing what the unit does.
Yes, definitely.
And as I said, we're just a department within the entire Ministry of Labor
Mm-hmm. Yes.
and all these other things. But today, we're concentrating on the small business
Exactly.
unit. And in terms, we've got a very efficient staff. Our head is now Miss Portia Nicholas, as the director of the small business unit. And we have persons like Danny,
Yes,
and
yes,
Nola,
yes. Yeah,
and all these things, Amanda.
Yes,
all these
yes,
persons really
yes.
doing a great job.
Onan and
Wayne,
Wayne.
It's
Yes.
it's a really, really
Yes,
full team.
yes, it
Myself,
is.
I'm within the unit.
Yes,
And,
definitely.
we also have some new persons who just coming aboard.
Yes,
and,
yes.
Diverse with diverse skills and stuff.
Yes,
So
so I
we're
have
really
my staff,
asking.
Malaika.
Yeah.
Yes,
Which
yes.
we're really asking anyone who has any interest as an entrepreneur or small business developer to come on down and speak to us. At the small business unit, like Mr. Walter said, we're on the 3rd floor of the government headquarters, the building known as the ministry, and would be happy to meet with you and have discussions. And as we have this again, I really want to touch on the leadership being provided by Miss Gloria Joseph.
Yes,
PS.
definitely.
She's this woman extraordinary who just
She goes
creates
beyond,
miracles,
beyond,
create miracles,
beyond,
It's
yes.
very important that and a lot of our successes can be attributed to her and the work she does together with our minister, Mr. Darren Pinard, who's doing exceptional work. Well, as we wrap though,
And then we want to thank the government.
oh yeah, well,
You understand, for putting
The unit
that
together.
mandate and putting the unit together and having that
In
confidence.
2008, they could
You
have
understand,
seen
in us
that
and the vision.
Yeah,
You understand?
to really create such
yes,
a unit. And
yes. So
that
we
has
do
just
thank the
benefited
government for
so
that.
many
Definitely.
small businesses and Dominicans generally.
Yeah. And before
with
you
that
end,
vision.
just across in the State House,
Yeah.
you understand, there is this national cannabis symposium.
Oh, yeah.
You understand, and that is critical because
that
our
all ties in.
MSMEs can benefit
Benefit
from
from
that
there
as
as
well.
well, yeah.
You understand, once legislation is put in place,
policies
you
and
understand.
legislations
So
have been worked
businesses like Mrs. Lovell,
Lovell.
you understand, can benefit
no, Mr.
from
Rogers
that.
giving you some
You understand,
Well,
infusing.
I actually have cannabis products there right now.
We'll keep that pretty private.
Yes, yes, and so.
But I mean, the future for the MSME sector looks really, really wonderful.
Of course, definitely.
And, we really want to just thank all the stakeholders out there, who keeps doing stuff, being creative, innovative, I mean, I've seen some products, not only your products, but some other products, and you know, it's
Amazing.
just so wowing.
Yes,
You know,
yes.
you keep wondering whether those are being made in Dominica.
Yep.
You know, and you know, for visitors or you know whoever is on the island, we strongly advise when you're going, you know, you're returning to your destinations, you know, to stop at places like Zepcoyon,
Yes.
and you know, a number of the supermarkets have this shelving
Local shelf.
Yes,
of local,
yes.
local products to really, you know, support us.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
because I think that is critical for the growth of development, not only of the businesses, but Dominica overall.
Definitely,
I think it's
definitely,
really, really critical.
definitely. Well
Okay,
said.
as we tend to wrap up, Mr. Lavelle, just give us some parting words. Tell us a little about the future of the
Sure.
of your business and maybe some of the plans you have. And
Sure. Well, Be Natural continues to grow, expand, and create a buzz. We have a lot of interesting plans that we're developing. So just keep tuned to Be Natural, and we'll continue to surprise and delight. For other small businesses, I just encourage you to keep going. I know it's not easy. Really, it's really not easy,
It's a
but it's
challenge,
worth it.
entrepreneurship.
It's worth it, and you're making a difference, and you're making an impact, and you are contributing to national development through your business. It may be something small right now, but it has a
Employing
big
persons.
potential to grow, and it impacts lives, you know, so you're really making a difference. So even on the hard days, just remember that and keep going. You're doing a great job. Thank you.
Well said, Miss Henry. You know, and I really must thank you again for being part of our program today.
Thank you.
It was very enlightening. We learned a lot. And to Mr. Walters.
Yeah,
your
I
final words.
mean, what can I say after Mrs. Lovell? Like, what really can I say? But I just want to implore the MSME sector to reach out. Many persons have been saying that they don't know about the fiscal incentives, but here is the information now. All right. So take part, come in, find out more information about the fiscal incentives, and get involved in it. It can really benefit your businesses. It can really benefit your businesses. And with respect to my new portfolio, which is the private sector relations, I'll be reaching out to many of the umbrella bodies within the private sector in the coming weeks. So I just wanted that information out
good.
there.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
Well, as we wrap up, let me just take the opportunity again to thank both of you for a very powerful and enlightening conversation. It definitely benefited us, our public, listening public, and everyone who has interest in small business. To our listeners, remember, opportunity knocks, but it's really up to you to answer the call. For more information on the fiscal incentive, concession licenses, or how to engage with the ministry's program, contact the Small Business Unit or visit the ministry's office. The telephone number again, Mr. Walter, is
266-3937, 266-3964.
Okay, again, thank you. Well, you've been listening to Voices of Change, brought to you by the Ministry of Labor, Public Service Reform, Social Partnership, Entrepreneurship, and Small Business Development. Join us next, the first Thursday of every month. We are,
Yes, yes.
although we had to shift. to the
Yes,
second
yes,
Thursday.
definitely. Yeah.
So we really ask you to join us every month, the first Thursday, unless we have to shift for some other event. And for more stories and strategy for your growth, for national growth. Until then, keep moving forward and stay inspired. And let's just get our song again, Voices of Change. Thanks again.